Have you ever met someone who wasn't the most beautiful person in the room, but somehow you couldn't stop thinking about them? Maybe it was the way they listened. Maybe it was the way they made you feel comfortable. Maybe it was the way you could be completely yourself around them. And then there are people who seem to have everything. Perfect smile, perfect style, perfect photos. The kind of person who looks like they were created specifically for a magazine cover, but after talking to them for 5 minutes, something feels empty. You leave the conversation thinking, they look amazing, but why did I feel nothing? That question tells us something important about human connection, because attraction is strange. We think we choose people with our eyes, but most of the time, our heart is paying attention to something much deeper. Carl Jung spent his life studying the hidden parts of the human mind, the things we don't always say, the feelings we don't always understand. And one thing his ideas help us see is this: people are not only attracted to what they see, they are attracted to what they experience. A beautiful face can catch attention, but a beautiful presence can stay in someone's memory for years. Think about it. You probably don't remember every person you saw last week. You don't remember every outfit, every hairstyle, every perfect photo you scrolled past. But you remember that one person who made you feel understood, that one person who made you feel calmer, that one person who looked at you like you actually mattered. That is the part people underestimate, the feeling someone leaves behind. And today, we are going to talk about the 2 things people truly fall in love with. Not the things social media tells us, not the things advertisements sell us, not the idea that you have to become perfect before someone can love you. Because the truth is, the people who create the strongest connections are usually not the people trying the hardest to impress. They are the people who know who they are. They are the people who bring something deeper into the room. So let me ask you something before we continue. Think about someone you have loved deeply. Maybe a partner, maybe a friend, maybe a family member. What is the first thing you remember about them? Their face, their clothes, their appearance? Or is it a moment, a conversation, a feeling? Share your answer in the comments, because I would love to know. Sometimes the stories people share reveal more about human nature than any psychology book ever could. Now, let's talk about the first thing. Number 1. People fall in love with how you make them feel. This sounds simple, but this is one of the biggest secrets about human connection. People may notice your appearance, but they remember your energy. Think about someone you enjoy being around. Maybe they are not the funniest person you know. Maybe they are not the most successful. Maybe they are not the person everyone notices when they enter a room. But when they arrive, the atmosphere changes. You feel more relaxed. You feel more yourself. You don't have to perform. You don't have to pretend. You can just exist. Those people are special because they give something many people are missing today, a place where you can be yourself. And that feeling is powerful. Imagine 2 people having a conversation. The first person spends the entire time trying to prove something, talking about achievements, talking about money, talking about how great their life is. Every sentence is saying, "Look at me." Now imagine another person. They ask questions, they listen, they remember small details, they laugh with you, they make you feel interesting. Who would you rather spend another hour with? Most people already know the answer, because deep down, we all want the same thing. We want to feel seen. We want to feel valued. We want to feel like our existence matters to someone. And this is why some people become unforgettable. Not because they were perfect, because they made you feel important. I remember hearing a story about an elderly man who worked at a small shop for many years. Every customer who came in received the same thing from him: a smile, a kind word, a little conversation, nothing dramatic, nothing that would appear on the news. But years later, people still talked about him. They didn't remember what he sold. They remembered how they felt when they walked out. That is the power of presence. Sometimes the smallest moments create the biggest memories. A simple, "How are you really doing?" A genuine compliment. Someone putting their phone away and actually listening. In a world where everyone wants attention, giving someone your full attention has become rare, and rare things become valuable. There is another interesting thing about this. Many people spend years trying to become more attractive. They change their hairstyle, they buy new clothes, they work on their appearance. And there is nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. But sometimes we forget something important. The most attractive thing about a person is often how they make others feel when they are around them. Have you ever noticed how children choose their favorite people? They don't care about someone's job title. They don't care about someone's car. They don't care about someone's followers online. They care about one simple question: do I feel good around this person? Adults are not that different. We just become better at hiding it. Deep down, we are still looking for people who bring comfort, kindness, and honesty into our lives. Because life is already difficult. Everyone is carrying something. Everyone has worries they don't talk about. Everyone has moments where they wonder if they are enough. So when someone comes along and makes you feel accepted, that person becomes special. And that brings us to something even deeper, because making people feel good is powerful, but there is another quality that creates a connection even stronger, something Carl Jung believed was connected to living a truly authentic life, something many people lose while trying to impress the world. Now let's talk about the second thing, and this one is something many people spend years searching for. Because the second thing people fall in love with is someone who is truly themselves. Not a perfect version, not a carefully created version, not the version they think everyone will approve of. The real person, the person behind the image, the person behind the smile, the person behind all the things they do to impress the world. Carl Jung talked a lot about the idea of the persona. The persona is like a mask we wear, and everyone has one. It's the version of ourselves we show to the outside world, the professional version, the confident version, the version that says, everything is fine, even when inside we are thinking, honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing, and that's normal. We all do it. You can look at someone's social media and think, wow, their life is perfect. Perfect holidays, perfect relationship, perfect pictures, perfect everything. Then you talk to them privately and discover they are just as human as everyone else. They have worries, they have fears, they have bad days. They also sometimes open the fridge 3 times, hoping a different meal will magically appear. Life is funny like that. We all pretend we have everything figured out. But most people are simply learning as they go. And there is something incredibly attractive about someone who accepts that. Someone who can say, I'm not perfect, but I'm comfortable being me. That kind of confidence is different. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need to convince anyone. It simply exists. Think about the people you feel closest to, the people you trust. Are they perfect? Probably not. Maybe they have habits that annoy you. Maybe they tell the same stories again and again. Maybe they always say, I'm leaving now. But somehow they are still getting ready 20 minutes later. But you still love them. Why? Because you know who they are. You know their heart. You know their intentions. You know the person underneath everything. And that is what creates deep connection. Not perfection. Familiarity, trust, truth. Here's something interesting. Many people believe they need to become more impressive to be loved. They think, I need more money. I need to look younger. I need to be more interesting. I need to become someone better. But sometimes the thing blocking connection is not that you are not enough. Sometimes it is that you are hiding too much of yourself. Imagine meeting someone who is trying so hard to be liked. Every sentence is carefully planned. Every reaction is controlled. Every opinion changes depending on who they are speaking with. After a while, something feels uncomfortable, because your mind is asking, who am I actually talking to? Now compare that with someone who is relaxed, someone who can laugh at themselves, someone who can admit, I was wrong, someone who can say, I don't know. That person feels safe, because you don't feel like you have to perform around them, and when people feel safe, connection grows. Let me share a simple example. Imagine two people sitting at a coffee shop. One person is trying to impress the other. They talk about achievements. They mention expensive things. They constantly try to look successful. The other person simply talks about things they love. A book that changed them. A memory from childhood. A lesson they learned the hard way. A dream they still have. Which person feels more interesting? Usually the second one, because passion is attractive. Curiosity is attractive. A person who is alive inside is attractive. You can feel when someone has a relationship with their own life. They don't need to prove they are special. Their energy shows it. And this is something I think many people forget. Attraction is not only about finding someone amazing. It is also about becoming someone who creates a good experience for others. Ask yourself, when people spend time with me, do they feel better? Do they feel heard? Do they feel accepted? Do they feel like they can relax? Because those questions reveal something deeper. A beautiful face might open a door, but a beautiful character makes people want to stay. So let's bring everything together. People may notice your appearance. That's human. First impressions matter. But lasting connection comes from two deeper things. Number one, how you make people feel. Do they feel respected? Do they feel comfortable? Do they feel valued? Number two, how authentic you are. Are you showing the real you, or are you constantly trying to become someone you think others will love? Because the irony is, the moment you stop trying so hard to be loved, you often become much easier to love. Think about the people who changed your life. Maybe it was a teacher. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe it was a partner. Maybe it was someone you only met once. They probably didn't change your life because they were perfect. They changed your life because they gave you something. A feeling, a lesson, a moment where you felt understood. And that is something no amount of beauty can replace. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe people fall in love more with a person's appearance, or the way that person makes them feel? And what is one quality that makes someone unforgettable to you? Kindness, humor, honesty, confidence? Share it in the comments. I always enjoy reading your experiences because everyone sees love and connection differently. If this video made you think about someone special in your life, maybe take a moment today and reach out to them. Send a message. Make a phone call. Tell someone you appreciate them. Sometimes the smallest actions become the memories people carry for years. And if you enjoyed this conversation about Carl Jung, human behavior, relationships, and the deeper parts of being human, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because here we explore the quiet things that shape our lives, the emotions we feel, the connections we build, and the parts of ourselves we are still learning to understand. Remember, looks may catch someone's attention, but your heart, your presence, and the way you make people feel, that is what makes you unforgettable. See you in the next one.